A very good day to you. I hope you're having yourself an amazing day on this beautiful Tuesday night in the 254. It is a Tuesday. It is 7:05 East African time, that is in Kenya, on the 2nd of April 2024. I hope you had an amazing day if you're watching or listening from Kenya, and I hope you're having yourself an amazing day if you're watching or listening from abroad. This is the Black Hot Fire News Update, where we are going to be looking at everything that has been hitting the headlines in Africa today. It is a very cold day in Nairobi. It has been raining the whole day, so it's really cold. That is why I'm dressed like this. In case you're wondering why I'm in a heavy jacket, it has been a very cold day. It is very cold, even right now. And so we are going to be looking at each and everything that was hitting the headlines all over Africa. That is from Kenya to Senegal, where Senegalese president Bassirou Diomaye Faye has been sworn in as the new president of Senegal. We're going to be looking at Kenya, where the doctors have extended their strike into the third week. We're going to be looking at Egypt, where the new Egyptian president has also been sworn in for the third 6-year term. His name is Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. We're going to be looking at South Africa, where the parliamentary speaker who was bribed with a wig, he was given a wig as a bribe, will face graft charges after a lot of public uproar from all over Africa. We're also going to be looking at Rwanda, where Kagame has been endorsed as a candidate again by 7 political parties. We're also going to be looking at Egypt again, where the EU is planning to fast track financial aid to Egypt. We're also going to be looking at Uganda, where a Ugandan court is set to rule tomorrow on the anti-gay rule that was passed, a very harsh one that I loved. We're also going to be looking at Kenya and how 10 people died in a Makueni road accident. We're going to be asking ourselves why this sudden surge in road accidents in Kenya. We've had more than 100 people die over the last month, if I can remember well. We had the Kenyatta University bus. We had there was another student's bus that had an accident yesterday. We had this one. So we have had a lot of people dying from road accidents. And so the question is, what has been causing this sudden surge in road accidents, not just in Kenya, but in Africa? We had 45 people die in South Africa. We had another 30-something people die in Egypt, in an Egyptian road accident. So what is it with Africa and road accidents? Is it the quality of vehicles that we import? Is it our drivers who are reckless, or is it our roads that are bad? And I'm going to be looking at Kenya as an example. So I'm going to be looking at one of the vehicles that has been having the most accidents, the 14-seater matatus that we use in Kenya. So the main public source of public transport in Kenya is the 14-seater matatu. That is what most people use. It is called matatu. Don't know why it's called matatu, but it is a 14-seater minivan. That is the main source of transport that many Kenyans use. So I'm going to be looking at why are accidents that occur from these matatus so fatal? Is it a question of us importing vehicles that are not up to the standard? Is it our roads? Is it our drivers? So we are going to be looking at that and much more. But before I look into the accident, let us talk about Kenya's doctors, whose strike is going into a third consecutive week. The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Pharmacists and Dentists Union, it is called the KMP, is held another protest today in the western county of Kisumu, while the union convened a general assembly of doctors, medical interns, and students in Nairobi. Talks between the government and the union have not borne any fruit so far, with the doctors still maintaining that they're going to go on a strike until the government keeps its end of the bargain. There was an agreement that happened in 2018, where the government agreed to do several things to help the doctors, one of them being increasing their salary. But since 2018, the government is yet to keep their end of the bargain, and this looks like it angered the doctors, and now they are on a strike for the second consecutive week, and they have said that they are still going to strike and nothing is going. And so what is causing this strike to escalate is that the KMPDU, that is the body that looks after doctors, He's saying that they are not going to go back until the government keeps its end of the bargain. And the government is saying it's going to fire them all. So it is a battle of egos. One of them is saying, if you don't go back to work, we are going to fire you all. The other body is saying, you're not going back to work until you keep your end of the bargain. We had an agreement in 2018. You promised. It was in 2017, actually. And I support the doctors on this. Since 2017, when there was a collective bargaining, in 2017, there was another doctor strike. And there was a bargaining agreement, collective bargaining agreement that was signed in 2017. It is yet to be kept. One of them was that the government agreed to post 1,200 medical interns to the hospitals because there are not enough doctors in Kenya. So medical interns really do a lot of work to aid the doctors in service delivery. So the doctors will delegate some of the lighter duties to the interns. So once the government does not post medical interns to hospitals, then it means that the doctors will have to do every task from the tough duties to the lighter duties that the interns would have helped. And of course, that is going to cause them to have a lot of baggage. They were saying there are times that they have to go past their shifts just because they don't want to leave patients sick. So clinical officers have also joined the doctors in the strike, citing the same issue, saying that the government has also not yet kept their end of the bargaining, the 2017 bargaining agreement. So the impact of the 3-week strike is being felt all across Kenya because patients are being left unattended and being turned away from hospitals. So what is happening is, if you can't afford a private hospital, then you can't get medical treatment. The strike has been going on from March 15th, and the medical CS Susan Nakumincha still is maintaining that doctors have to go back to work or they're going to get fired. So it's a battle of eagles, but the one who's suffering the most is, of course, the normal citizen who can't afford private medical care. For 3 weeks, there have been no doctors in any Kenyan hospital because they're saying the government needs to increase their salary, the government needs to post interns. And now let us look at accidents. Now I was telling you about the surge in road accidents. Not really a surge because road accidents have always been there and they have been so rampant over the last few days. And my biggest worry is why are the accidents so fatal in Africa? I mean, look at the one that happened in South Africa. 45 people died on a single road accident. 45 people died. The other one in Egypt, 30 something people died. We had the other one in Zimbabwe. I don't know how many people died. I can't remember the number. Look at now the one in Kenya that involved university students last week. We had at least 10 die. And now yesterday we had another 10 die in a Makueni road accident. 6 of them relatives. So 6 of the individuals who perished in the road accidents that involved 5 motor vehicles at Salama area in Makueni County on Monday were relatives. So they were going to Mombasa. The Mombasa highway is especially one of the most dangerous roads that you can use in Kenya because it is a single carriage road that has trucks and a lot of traffic. And from Mombasa to Nairobi is a really, really long distance. And so takes about 11-12 hours driving. So of course you can tell there's a lot of fatigue, and the road is a single lane. It is a one-way road. It is not a dual carriage. It is a single carriage road. So that, I guess, that is one of the reasons. But I don't know what could be the big cause of these accidents in Africa. So I decided to check on one of the vehicles that is heavily used in Africa for public transport. You go to Uganda, they use this vehicle. If you come to Kenya, this vehicle is used heavily. It is actually the modest way. It is the most common way of transport. If I want to go from here to here, I'll use this one. So Kenyans call it matatu, Africans call it matatu, but its industry name is a Nissan Urvan. Don't know if it is a Urvan or an Arvan, but it is a Nissan Arvan. Yeah, it is an Arvan. Urvan, I don't know. So I decided to check on its crash test. How did it do when they did crash test on it? Could it be the problem? Because nobody really survives from this accident. And this was a video of the Nissan Urvan. This is a crash test that they did on it. This is the most, I know anybody watching from Africa will relate. This is the most common means of transport in Africa. You go to Nigeria, you're going to use this vehicle right here to go to wherever you want to go. It is more commonly used than even buses. You go to Uganda, it is the most common means of transport. You come to Kenya, it is the most common means of transport. So let us see how it performed in the crash test when a crash test was performed in it, and why it has been banned in many countries. Many countries do not allow this Nissan R-Van. So this is a crash test of the Nissan Urvan, and it did very, very poorly. It did poorly, and it actually has a 1-star rating. It was rated 1 star. It failed crash test. It failed the crash test. It cannot be allowed as a public means of transport in many countries, but it is the most common means of transport that is used in Africa, that is used in Uganda, that is used in Kenya. And that is why each and every day you have to report more than 10 deaths, more than, once it has an accident, nobody is going to survive. And I was looking at a report of its crash test, and it failed terribly in each and every area if you look at it. For
It's
example,
garbage. Will not have been a road, and no, damn sure will not have been a road in America. It's a
it,
goddamn death trap.
it's not allowed. Are you telling me this Nissan is not allowed on the roads in America? I didn't hear you right.
Yeah, it's not allowed. Not didn't pass the crash test. Hell no. Can't ride that shit. It's a death trap. No, it's not
Wow.
allowed. Only Africa does shit like that because they've been paid out by some Japanese, some puppets been paid off to put dangerous shit into the community. No, you got certain standards that you cannot put these dangerous cars out into production in America. It doesn't pass the crash test. You can't make that
Yeah,
no travel a commuting van.
this
It's not
urban
allowed.
here, urban is the most popular means of transport in Africa. You go to Nigeria, kid, you are going to use this. You go to Uganda, you're going to use this.
Of
And
course,
that is why
because
nobody survives.
because
Nobody survives from these
the
accidents
Africans
because once you buy,
because the Africans don't know what you know, Demore. The government don't give a shit about you, and the Africans are ignorant. They don't know they're riding in a death trap. The government doesn't get the African governments or established that they don't give a shit about the people. That's why you said this is common in Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, because they don't give a shit. This car is unsafe. They're not riding around in that shit in Japan where they make that horrible shit at. That car is not allowed on the road in Japan. I lived in Japan. They wouldn't allow that shit on the roads. It's unsafe. They're not gonna put their people in that shit, but they'll put your people in it because your people don't give a shit about you. Getting in that unsafe ass shit.
this thing scored 1 out of 16 when they had a crash test on it. One is the lowest. You literally cannot give somebody a zero because in data they don't believe a zero exists. So it scored the lowest you can score in a crash test. And the
Yeah, but they
government
know
in Africa looked at
you
it and
you
decided, yeah,
you
this is going to be the conventional way of transport in
you
our
know
country.
you know it, Demore. You know it's wrong. Government knows what they don't give a fuck. So what? These are niggas. So what? Fuck them. You talking about it's a colonial mindset, Demore. Where you told now you hate yourself, you hate your people. That's how
Mm-hmm.
Africa's set up. So the puppets that are there, they hate African people. They don't care. That's why they do their health care outside of Africa. Why they won't build good hospitals. They do all that shit outside of Africa. As
I
Putin
mean,
once said,
you don't even have to
how
know
can you
any
develop
knowledge
a
of the
graveyard?
You don't even have to be good in automotives or anything for you to understand how dangerous this car is. I mean, let us look at the crash test here. Um, uh, Overall evaluation, it scored 1 out of a possible 16. That is 1 star. Frontal crash test. I don't know where. I was looking at where the video is playing from. Frontal crash test. It scored 4 points out of a possible 36. Side impact crash test. It scored 4 points out of a possible 36. I mean, I don't think he can get m- more unsafe than this kid. Can it get more
Yeah.
unsafe than this?
No, no, it's shameful. And this is what, and it makes me angry because these no good bastards. They thrive off the ignorance of their own community. They don't care.
Mm-hmm,
They don't give a shit. You got to have some concern about your people.
mm-hmm,
This is not allowed in any other countries but Africa. Japanese, no, they make that shit. That means that car is cheap as shit to make. It's cheap as hell. Unsafe. It was not allowed any roads nowhere else but Africa. That's why I say, don't worry, just give it to the niggas. Give it to them. Fuck, if they ain't give it to us, give it to these dumbass niggas. They don't care about themselves, so why should we?
Yeah, it
Shit,
was
fuck
because
them.
of this. It was because of this type of ignorance that last year we had about 292,000 deaths in Africa from road accidents. 292 deaths reported deaths. Those are the ones that were reported. 292,000. You know, because
God
of such,
damn.
yeah, because of such things like this, and you haven't
Bad,
even taken into
bad roads and
consideration
bad
the bad
vehicles.
roads. Yeah, you haven't
Bad
even
roads and
taken
bad
into
vehicles.
consideration the bad roads. So the your survival chance goes really down because one, the roads are bad. Two, eh,
The cars are fucked
maybe
up.
you are in Uganda and your driver is drunk. If he's not drunk, then the vehicle
Wrong. Yeah.
itself
Imagine
is
this.
not.
Got people driving public transportation that are drunk. And that's no, that's a no. They'll be fired immediately. You got to take tests in America to do any driving. You can't have no alcohol, no drugs, no nothing. And they got checkpoints. So if you ever do it, you're going to get caught. You're going to prison and locking your ass up. You know how dangerous that is. Somebody drinking and driving with people in there. That's not going to be tolerated. You're going to prison and for a long goddamn time. Not that you killed somebody first. No, because you violated the law of being intoxicated. You know, just crazy.
And so because of crazy things like this, we have heard about yesterday we had 10 people die on the most dangerous road in Kenya is actually the Nairobi Mombasa highway. That is the most dangerous road. If
Why
you
is that
move
so
from
dangerous? It's just a straight damn run. Why is that so dangerous?
one, it is a single carriage road. It isn't dual carriage, it is a single carriage, meaning there is
Yeah, I know
yeah, that is
it's a 2 lane highway. I know you go ahead.
yeah. The second thing is it has a lot of tracks in it. The third thing is the distance from Nairobi to Mombasa is crazy. It's about 490 something kilometers. That is about 11, 12 hours driving. So of course put in the fatigue in there. You've
Well, it
been
takes you
driving for
11
almost
hours. Hold on,
11
let me see.
hours.
No, let me see how many kilometers. How many kilometers is that? Let me convert that to
490
miles.
something. It's about
On
490 something.
497 kilometers. Okay, let me see what this is.
It
Let me
takes
see.
12, 13 hours on road.
Man, the road is that bad. Shit, well, let me see how many kilometers. Jesus Christ. See. How many miles is 490
That is
kilometers?
275 miles. It's
What?
275 miles or thereabouts.
That's it. What? That's a 3 hour drive in America. It takes 11 hours to go 3 hours.
It's 11, 12
God
hours
damn.
from Nairobi to Mombasa. So
God
you put,
damn.
yep.
Oh my
How many hours did you say
God.
that is in America?
About 3.5 hours. How many miles you said it
Wow.
was? 200 what now? 200 what?
275 miles thereabouts.
So it's about it's between three and a half to 4 hours drive, depending how fast you drive. If you're driving the speed limit, it's about maybe 4 hours.
Three.
If you drive, yeah, you can have
That's crazy.
11. It takes you 11 hours. The roads, this I told you, Africa's like 100 years behind. It takes you 11 hours to go on a 4 hour drive. God damn!
I
What?
actually thought that was a long
11?
distance. 290 kilometers is a long
No,
distance. That is
no, it's not. No, it's
275
not.
miles is quite a distance.
No, it's not. Ask ask Google what they say in America. Say how long? I want you to do this. They'll tell you. Let's go to Google. Say how long does it take you to drive? Say the speed limit in America is like 70 miles an hour. So how long does it take you to drive? How long does 70 miles an hour drive take you to go 275 miles? Let's see what Google tells you. America. This would be in America, not Africa, though. Goddamn. But shit. God damn. 11, 12. It's a long. That ain't no long distance. 3.5 hours.
It
Three and
says
a half
it
hours.
says about
What?
it says about 4 hours.
Yeah, I
About
told
four
you four
hours
hours.
30 minutes.
Damn. That ain't 4 hours. About 4 hour drive. 4 hour drive. I'm like, what? 11, 12 hours. What?
So that is actually that is one of the main causes of road accidents on the Nairobi Mombasa highway, because as I said, it's 11 12 hours of driving, especially if you are on public transport.
It
So
ain't 11 or
imagine
12 hours
the
public
11
driving.
hours.
Your roads are so fucked up, so backwards, so destroyed. That's a 4 hour drive to Moray. The limit, the miles you're talking about, doesn't justify 11 hours. God damn. God damn. You know, me driving from Miami back to where I live in Pensacola, that's 10 hours, and that's
Mhm.
700 miles. I mean, say, what is 700 miles in kilometers, tomorrow? That's 11-hour drive. 700 miles in kilometers. What is that? That's 11-hour drive or 10-hour drive.
That's 1,100 kilometers.
Okay, so that's about a 10-hour drive. 10 hours. You talking about going 400 kilometers for goddamn 11 hours? Are you crazy? God damn. God damn. This shit's crazy. God damn. This shit's crazy, man.
You should.
Wow.
I don't even know. I don't know what you are complaining about. You should try Nairobi to Kampala. You are going to. You should try Nairobi.
Wow.
Nairobi to
How long
Kampala
is
is 600 plus kilometers. That is. Let me see how many
okay?
miles that is.
That's supposed to be a 9.5 hour drive.
It's about. Let me see how many
Like a whole damn day.
that is.
24 hours.
It's about 372 miles.
How much is it?
370 miles thereabouts.
Hold on. From Nairobi to Kampala is number 370 miles? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. It's
close?
only.
That's it?
It's 600
That's
kilometers.
it?
It's like one. Yeah. It's.
Oh my God, that's a 5.5 hour drive to Moray.
You must be kidding. That's about a
That's
2018 hour drive. What do you mean?
God damn, that ain't nothing but me driving from, I drive everything. It ain't nothing. I thought before, I thought he, God, that's not even that far. That's nothing but from where I live, Pensacola to Jacksonville, Florida. That's it. What?
You
That's a
leave
5.5 hour drive, man.
you leave Nairobi at 6 a.m. heading to Kampala. You're going to get to Kampala at about 12 midnight.
God damn, God damn.
That-
God damn, it's crazy.
and Jiva is asking me, what am I driving? A bicycle?
Exactly. Exactly. When you're driving a bicycle, Jimmy Jabba. That's exactly. I'm driving a bicycle. I told you when you go to, when you and it's all about this, it's all over. Africa don't make these white people underdeveloped Africa so much where shit don't even make sense. It's shit like back in the 1800s. He's talking about leaving. He's talking about leaving Nairobi at 6 a.m. You ain't going about 300 something miles. The goddamn Kampala. You ain't getting there until midnight. You're like,
You know,
what?
you know why the SGR was so popular when it came to Nairobi, the standard gauge railway, the railway that you don't want to, you never want to hear about. People loved
Yeah,
it
because
because
it got
it takes
the
six
time.
hours. It takes six
6 hours.
hours from
6
Nairobi to Mombasa.
hours.
That's
'Still
hours. You
slow.
know,
That's
nobody
still
believes
slow.
it at first.
I just don't, 6 hours. Look at that, because it's some old shit, Demore. I told your
I
car
mean,
only take you 4 hours. They just told your car 4 hours, Demore. You talking about a train that's supposed to be faster than a car? A train, Demore, a real train.
6 hours
Wait,
for 260 miles. Nobody could
let me
believe it. That is why it became so popular. The
that's what I
SGR.
told you. That's how bad ignorant they left Africa. Africa's like 200 years behind time in a time warp. A train, Demore, in China or Japan would do that
Mhm.
Nairobi to Mombasa, maybe 30 minutes, an hour maybe, 30 minutes. Yeah, maybe an hour. Okay, let's see this. Do this for me, real. Let's see. Let's see. Say, let's ask Google how fast how fast is the Japanese bullet train even Tokyo? Let's see, going 200 miles. I mean 400 miles to Mount Fiji. How fast is that? I don't know. How far is Mount Fiji? Fucking Tokyo. I can't remember. But let's say
It's 200 miles. It's 200 miles per hour.
yeah, 200 miles per hour. So you're talking about 2 hours. Tomorrow you get there. 2 miles, 200 miles. So
Wow.
2 hours you be from Nairobi to Mombasa in 2 hours. You talking about 11 hours? Talking about 6 hours? That's crazy shit. That's why I told you the train is outdated and old when they first put it in there. And your train costs more than a bullet train that you paid for. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Actually, once you come to Kenya, we are going to put you on a bus to Mombasa, and you are going to
Nah,
stay in that bus for 12 hours.
God, there ain't no way. I can't do it. I've been going crazy in that motherfucker. I I would go crazy in a 6 hour train ride that only going goddamn. The more he said, whatever that shit is, 300 miles. I'm like, what? And now I think it's 200. I mean, how many miles is that? He said that's only you get to
Yeah,
Mombasa in an
that's what.
hour. It's only 200. That means you'll get to Mombasa in a Japanese bullet train in an hour and a half, a little less than an hour and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah, man, shit, what? And what?
I,
It is.
I want I want you on one of those buses, kid, and you will be lucky. You're not going to be lucky, to be honest, because it also has excess people. So you're going to be for
They're
12
cramped and
hours in a
crowded.
bus carrying excess passengers.
Nah, man, that's why
So
I gotta get nah.
you might be sitting on the floor. You might be sitting
Unless
on the floor.
that's yeah, that's how Katie and Joby had to do coming back up from Dar es Salaam because they overbooked the bus, and Katie and Joby had to sit on the floor. That shit was crazy. That shit was funny. Man, they were mad as shit. And,
You're
and,
gonna sit on the floor for 12 hours.
and see, but you can't do that, Mexico. That's illegal because that goes against safety standards. You can't do that
Mhm.
nowhere. But Africa, you can because they don't get. I make more money. Pile them on here. That's illegal. That's going to jail doing that. You get locked up. Any bus driver there, they get locked the fuck up the more. You get locked up at the next stop. They locking your ass up because that's dangerous. You might lie that shit like that to happen. So imagine, and and that was doing that, and that shit was going that fast when I was in Japan, and the Africans are so behind. They've been on some old, outdated shit. Yay! We get to Mombasa in 6.5 hours. Yay! Like what? What? What are you talking about?
But that is only a dream in Uganda, kids. You know, you that Uganda can only dream of that.
I'm talking about Kenya, goddamn it, with that.
And your network also looks like it is doing badly than our buses. So as we wait for kids to come back, we have been looking at what has been causing the surge in road accidents in Africa and in Kenya. We saw 45 people die in a South African bus accident. We had 10 people die yesterday in another road accident in Kenya. And so for those who've joined late, we were looking at what could be the cause of these road accidents, and they are so bad when they happen. And we have established that one of the reasons is the quality of the vehicles that we have in Kenya and in Africa, the ones that are imported. And we were looking at the crash test of one particular vehicle that is very popular in Africa. Here it is. It is a Nissan Urvan. It is the most popular means of transport in Africa. You go to Uganda, you're going to use one of these. If you go to Nigeria, Jiba Jaba, you're going to get ferried with one of these. This is the most conventional popular means of transport in Africa. You go to Ghana, you're probably going to use this. So we were looking at the crash test, and this thing failed the crash test. It had 1 star out of it had 1 point out of a possible 16. Failed in each and every aspect of the crash test. And Kido was telling me it's not allowed in any other place apart from Africa. But it is the most popular means of transport in Africa. And look at how it performed in the crash test once again before we go to other news. Probably one of the reasons why nobody survives from this accident. Yesterday we had one of these involved in an accident in Kenya. It was carrying 12 passengers, 10 died, only 2 survived. And this is the most popular means of transport we use in Africa. It failed the crash test terribly. And it is not allowed in many roads, not even in Japan where it's made. It is not allowed to ferry public. It's not allowed to for PSV purposes in Japan, and yet it is the most popular means of transport in Africa. This one hits a tree, you are all dead. And the one on the video luckily has airbags. Never seen airbags in any public transport vehicle in my life. So this with no airbags is why we had 10 people dead yesterday. And of course, the quality of vehicles that we import and use for public transport unroadworthy vehicles that should not be on the roads. So couple this with the bad roads, couple this with the corrupt traffic police officers who won't mind even if you carry excess passengers as long as you bribe them, and you're going to understand why 280,000 people died of road accidents in Africa last year alone. 280,000 people, that is 500,000 plus people died of road accidents in Africa last year. If you divide that by that is, I don't know how many people a day. That is more than quite a huge number of people, a large number of people a day. That was what has been happening in regards to road accidents. I checked on that because we had people die yesterday in a road accident on the Mombasa-Nairobi highway. Let us look at other news where in Senegal has sworn in former opposition figure Bassirou Diomaye Faye as the new president. That is after winning the election that was held last week. So Bassirou Faye is now the new president of Senegal. This is, but he was released from prison less than 2 weeks before the March 24 election. Keith looks like he has joined me. So he was
Yeah.
sworn in He
And
was sworn in today.
my phone is over here. I was
Your,
saying my phone is over here taking all day to get the Mombasa shit. Goddamn, my phone is messed up. When we gonna get there? We doing pole for real.
your phone is doing badly than our
And
than our
we,
road.
we were doing pole for real.
And before I go to Senegal, let me look at the comments. And Jiba Jaba is saying, just Google bullet train top speed. The fastest is 286 miles per hour in Shanghai. 286 miles an hour in Shanghai.
Yeah, they
The
building that
other
in
reason,
China. They building that in China, but they building bullshit for the African. And that bitch the one in Shanghai was cheaper than the bullshit they built in Nairobi.
he's saying Morocco has one. This is crazy, Morocco. And he's saying drunk driving, no maintenance, bad roads. And he's saying that's a tin can in regards to the Nissan Urban that
Yeah.
failed the crash test terribly, but it is still the most common means of transport. I used this one to come. I used the same vehicle to come to the studio, by the way.
Damn.
Yeah, it is. You have to use this one. It is the the tin can Jiba Jaba is the
I
one that
thought,
ferried me to the studio today.
yeah. I thought you lived close enough tomorrow. You didn't have to take no transportation. I thought you lived close by.
I know
How far you?
I was in
Huh?
I was in school. I had classes, so
Oh,
coming
okay,
from
okay. I
school to
got
the
you. I got
studio.
you. I got you. I got you. Well, be
Yeah.
safe, man. Hey, if you ride next to the door, so you can jump. It's better. It's better to jump out tomorrow and be all fucked up on the side of the road than to end up in the crash and that shit. Just
So this
just jump
this
out. Just jump out. Say shit.
this tin can right here is what, if you ever come to visit Africa, if you ever come to visit Kenya, Jiba Jaba, this is what is going to ferry you from the airport.
The funny part, I didn't roll the buses in Kenya and Tanzania. I didn't know they were that unsafe though. I didn't know they were that bad. Demore, because Demore's right. The number I done rode that bitch in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania. I don't think they had them in South Africa. But I rode them in South Africa, but I did. I didn't know that shit was that unsafe. Demore, shit.
This thing, kid, if you given a 1-star rating, 1-star rating is the lowest. There is no 0-star.
I know.
So it literally failed. They just gave it
I
1 star because there was nothing lower than that.
I never even thought about that. I didn't know. I just got on it with everybody. That was all. I was in Africa. Let me get in here with my people. Just I ain't know. Say, man, I'm in a death trap, nigga. I'm in a death trap. I ain't think about none of that. I say I'm just happy to be in Africa around everybody. How's everybody doing? I say, hey, you guys know we in a death trap in here. We probably gonna die. Now I know. Next time I come to Kenya and Tanzania, I'm gonna get me a window seat. God damn it! I'm jumping out the window.
Good luck, good luck,
I,
good luck to
I'm gonna
you.
put I'm gonna put
Trying
the
to open the
Moray
window.
I'm gonna put the Moray Joby Cameras in the middle seat. I get the window seat, niggas.
This is one of the reasons. This coupled with what Jiba Jaba is saying is one of the reasons we have so many accidents in Africa that nobody survives from. You put this, other drunk driver and bad roads in it, you're going to get a disaster. You're going to get 280,000 people dying in a single year.
God
And
damn right.
I was talking about Senegal, where the new president was sworn in today, Bassirou
All
Diomaye
right.
Faye. And this is the interesting thing about this guy, kid, is that he was released in prison. We were here with you when we were reporting his release from prison
Prison,
2 weeks
yeah.
before the election. 2 weeks before the election, he went ahead and won the election, and that
Because the
I
youth
don't know
want
what.
the people want. They're scared that the youth are now starting to wake up in Africa. More. They're not going to take no more being impoverished in the
Mm-hmm.
richest continent on the planet. They're not going to take, you know, bad rules, bad governance, and don't nobody caring. It's not these puppets are not going to be able to survive. They're going to be, and I don't call them coups. Don't call them coups, family. Call them revolutions because they're
Mm-hmm.
overthrowing the white man's puppet. Those are revolutions, not coups. They throwing the European puppets. Get your puppet ass out of here. They're throwing away. They're throwing over. They're overthrowing the white man's puppets. Those are revolutions. So don't ever use European indoctrinated language. Those are revolutions. You call them a coup. I call them a revolution. The Africans taking
Okay,
back power.
let me give you a little bit of context on what happened in Senegal and how we
All
came
right.
to the election. And Jiba Jaba is saying, good stuff, you are a student. Yeah, I'm a student, Jiba. I'm graduating later this year with my first degree, that is
That's
in
what. That's
journalism.
what. That's why he's so smart. Right? You think he get? He not like the rest of the morons running around on fucked up buses dying.
I'll be graduating in December with my first degree in journalism and communication. So this is what happened in Senegal. First, and the president Macky Sall decided to postpone. The election was scheduled for February 25th. The president decided to
Oh,
postpone the
to
election to
the going
December.
to
He said,
December. Yeah.
we're not gonna have election right now. We're gonna have the election in December." And you know what happened? The people of Senegal could not take that. They went to the streets, and
It's a
about
no.
20 plus people died. So many people died
Of
from
course.
the
Because
protest. And
the youth known they was that was the French, the white masters trying to come in and put their
Mhm.
puppet in, and the youth said no, no, you're not.
and
We'll
one of the
burn this country
opposition
down to the ground.
figures in Senegal, his name is Sonko, he was barred from contesting in the election
Of course,
because he had some other cases that he had a defamation case. So they barred him from contesting and put him in prison. So the people went to the streets, they protested, they fought, and of course the president Macky Sall had no option but to have the elections held, and he
no,
had no
because
option than to release the
understanding,
opposition figure
understanding,
Sonko. Mhm,
understanding. Once the youth realize you're the majority in every African country, you really have the power. There's no
mhm,
police, there's no military that can stop you. You are the majority overwhelmingly. If you unite, stop your tribal bullshit. Nothing can stop you from taking over any government in Africa. The white man knows this. That's what he's scared to death of. He knows it. He sees it happen in Mali, Guinea Faso, Niger. The
mhm,
youth rose up. You said enough. We're not our granddaddies. We're not our great granddaddies. And we damn sure not our daddies. We're not going to stay in this poverty no more. We're not going.
mhm.
We don't want to be gaslit with no religious dumb shit. Go to church and pray to Jesus or pray to Allah. Fuck that. Allah left us broke and Jesus left us broke. So nah, that don't work no more.
And so, what was interesting about this election was, Osman Sonko was banned from contesting, and so when Macky Sall was releasing them from jail, from prison, he had no worry because he knew Osman Sonko, the main opposition figure, was not going to contest because he had been barred by the court because of a defamation case. But what happened was Osman Sonko supported this man. He
His
took
boy. He put his boy
Diomaye
in there.
Faye and mentored him. And so that is how he won the election. He's 44 years old. He's the second youngest president in Africa. That is after Traore.
That's all right. Yeah, they don't want the youth to
He
have these old senile niggas and put you in bad buses real Africa. All these old morons, all these old bootlicking coons.
mhm. And so two of his main campaign agendas, which let me be naive for a moment and hope he's going to do it. The two main campaign agendas that he had was cleaning up corruption, one, and two,
Mm-hmm.
better management of the country's natural resources. He promised
Resources.
he's going to manage the
Taking back,
country's
taking back the
natural
money.
resources and corruption.
Now, if you're gonna do it for real, look out. That you can put around. They're gonna they're trying to put a bullet in your head, brother, because
Mhm,
your resources is your wealth of Africa. You haven't had control of your resources in Africa.
mhm.
So watch out. I mean, when you start doing it for real, they sending them folks after you. Make sure you got good people around you. They're gonna try to assassinate
So
your ass.
let us see what Fire is going to do. He was little. No, nobody even knew Fire. Nobody thought he was going to win. In Africa, we don't have presidents getting elected at that age. There is no African president who I know who has been elected younger than 50. Even Traore was not elected. He would never be
No,
president if there was an election.
no, hell
So,
no. He took
yeah.
power. Power is not given to Morin, it's taken. That's when you put in
So,
laws of power. Power is not given, it's taken.
mhm. shout out to Shout out to Fire. Let's see what he's going to do. He's a tax inspector by profession. Let's see if he's going to use his knowledge in finances in maybe running Senegal better. So that is what was happening in Senegal. They now have a new president. Macky Sall is but a retired president right now. They have a new president. And in Egypt, they also had the same thing. Today, Egypt's president was sworn in for the third 6-year term. His name is Abdel Fattah El Sisi. He
I
was sworn
don't
in
care nothing about
today.
no damn fake Egypt and them fake people up there. I don't care. Go ahead. I could care less. Go ahead, Morin.
Uh, I, di- so President Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt was sworn in for that 6-year term on Tuesday after being re-elected in a December vote where he faced no serious challenges, as happens in many countries in Africa. So El-Sisi took the oath today, and one of the first things that he did is secure. So shout out to him because one of the first things he did was secure a loan. They had been promised a 3 billion bailout by the IMF. He went and extended that to 8 billion. So Egypt is getting an 8 billion bailout. I don't know what they're being bailed out of. Of course, economic crisis. And he's also getting another loan from the EU. So EU is also sending financial aid to Egypt. So the first thing that he did, so look at the two leaders. The one in Senegal said the first thing that he's going to do is make sure there is better management of resources. The one in Egypt, the first thing that he did is get a loan from the
You can't
EU
you
and
can't give it you
IMF.
can't be that you can't compare Egypt to Senegal. Senegal is a black country
Mm-hmm,
in Africa. Egypt is not.
mm-hmm,
They're not even part of African. They don't consider themselves Africans. Those are invaders. I don't give a shit what they do in Egypt, Morocco, Algeria. Those are invader countries. Give a shit. Give a shit what they do. And those people hate African people. So why the hell do I care? You know what the hell they do? Shit. Fuck them.
these are people who are only in Africa because they have no other option but to be in Africa. If they had a choice, they would be somewhere else
I
on the
doubt.
map. That is.
They stole that country. I thought over 1,000 or 1,500 years ago. They weren't going to work. They stole that from the Africans 1,500 years ago. When they invaded in the 7th century. So those Arabs have been in North Africa since the 7th century. Do me a favor. Go to Google. Say, what year?
Come again.
Ask Google, say, what year was the Arab invasion of North Africa? About 1,500 years ago. The 7th century. 600 some AD.
600.
They overthrew
It
Rome.
was 657
That's
AD.
right. That's what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Seventh century, 600 century, 600 in the 7th century. They came and overthrew Rome, and took over that northern part of Africa. So when Africans, those people are invaders. They're not indigenous to Africa. Those are not Africans up there. And they hate African people. I don't give a shit about them people in Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and Libya, and damn Algeria today. Those are invaders.
And looking at countries, other countries that are in Africa, let me finish with Uganda, where tomorrow a Ugandan court is expected to deliver a verdict on the 20. You have the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023 that was passed. So it was challenged in court, and Uganda's constitutional court will deliver a verdict tomorrow in a case challenging anti-gay legislation that was passed in 2023. So among the penalties imposed in the, let me tell you about the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023.
Uh,
It imposes penalties of up to life in prison for consensual same-sex relation and contains provision that make aggravated homosexuality an offense punishable by death. So somebody took it to
fuck,
court, and the
fuck
Constitutional
daddy,
Court in
fuck,
Kampala
fuck
will.
daddy. P Diddy, you better not visit Uganda, nigga.
So tomorrow the Constitutional Court will issue its verdict from 10 a.m. and I'm sure Maria and Sento will be talking about this tomorrow because it's a big decision that I'm sure will get influenced by
I think
external
they talking.
forces.
I
A
think
lot
they
of
talking
phone
about it
calls will be
today.
made.
I think they talking about today. I was just in their chat room.
Mhm.
I think they talking about it today. So, yeah. So, I, we'll, we'll see if Massetti puts a coffee and down a doodle don't want to sign it. I don't know. I don't know if I can sign this thing. The people, I know that they bad, but the people, hey, moron, you going to sign it or not? Jesus Christ. The people, I'm not sure you people, and don't be ashamed, but they're not good people. Imagine this got to be the dumbest bastard on the African continent. This boy, every time I look at him,
Mhm.
I know white people just be giggling their ass off. This motherfucker's a president of a country. He's a whole
My
president
main my
of
main
a
worry,
country.
Keith, my main worry with the verdict tomorrow is I'm sure external forces will try to, you know, how they try to
Of course.
put these things on us. So I'm sure external forces will try. And something tells me the court might do away with the act that was passed in 2023. This is, of
Yeah, they
course,
do it because they'll get bribed. They'll get bribed and then they bring terrorism in there. They live there. You got Al Shabbat running around here now. You better sign the bill. 70. You still good because we don't want to completely toss your old ass out of power because you still fuck up the cargo down there. But you better get your
but knowing
mind
how
right,
Uganda
nigga.
works, Keith, knowing how Uganda works, and how nobody is really independent. You know, Museveni calls the shot there. Doesn't matter whether
I know.
doesn't matter who you are.
I
Yeah,
know.
so knowing
I know you
Uganda
don't.
very well, if the court does away with the 2023 Homosexuality Act, I'll see that
Because
as
he wants it.
Museveni trying to back
Exactly.
out, but not trying to act to look
The,
cowardice. So he will be like, I brought this, but the
the court
courts,
did it.
you know what the courts did? Yeah,
Exactly.
that,
Exactly.
that,
That's exactly right, Demore. That's exactly what he'll do. Exactly. It's not
especially
my fault.
after.
The court said it was illegal. I'm against the ruling,
Yeah.
but I must adhere to the courts, Demore.
This is especially after what the World Bank announced in August. You know, the World Bank said it was suspending any new loans to Uganda.
Of
And
course. Now,
Museveni will
now,
not
now,
want that.
now, now you
He will
go,
not
now
want.
you go, now you go suspend loans to me because I won't take in the butt. Make it make sense, huh? You send my loans to me because I won't take a dick in the ass.
So, we will be here tomorrow, and of course, we will look at what Uganda decided. But I still stand on this. If the courts tomorrow decide that to do away with the 2023 Homosexuality Act, it will be Museveni trying to back out of it. It will be Museveni
Of
trying to
course.
show the Ugandans, I tried to help you, but the courts, and they have to adhere to the court ruling, you know, because I'm sure
Exactly.
the West has been making phone calls, several of them, to Museveni. You saw what happened in
You,
Ghana.
you,
Phone
you
calls
don't
were
know.
made, and the president said, "Don't bring that
They,
bill to
they,
me."
and they ain't
So
signed the bill. They even signed the bill and go for Dada Doodle talking about, I don't bring me the bill. That's your job. That's your job as the
he said
president.
he told them not to bring the bill to him. I'm sure Museveni has also received several phone calls of people telling him that they are going to come and see him. We are going to
That's
have a
right.
chat, old man.
That's right. That's right.
Museveni is not trying to have a chat with anyone. Just, so let's see what will happen tomorrow. We're going to look at this tomorrow and see what the court will say. It's a very long awaited verdict. People have been waiting for it. because many Ugandans are actually supporting Museveni on this. And by the way, we had a 20-year-old man being charged with aggravated homosexuality, which is
Of course,
in the
of
new
course,
in the
of
20
course, they
in
support
the
them,
20.
Demore, because that's our culture. But they don't care about our culture. They try to destroy us as a people. We never accepted it here in America. The only community that didn't accept it was the black community, the African American community didn't accept the homosexual shit. We were ostracized. We were demonized. Oh, you wicked niggas! You out there, you don't want a man to suck another man's dick. What's wrong with you? We think it's
That is
immoral.
why. I think I
You
think
know.
I think it was the Unsunken one who was saying he's never calling anybody by pronouns. He's calling you by your own name. Your pronoun
Right.
is your name. And so,
they,
we have
but they,
one man in Uganda facing
then
death
they,
punishment because he had sex with a 41-year-old male, and he was accused of unlawful sexual intercourse. So I know he's waiting on this verdict because
damn. Woo!
if the court passes it, if the court supports it, then he's getting death sentence. The 20-year-old man.
Yeah,
So I'm sure he'll be waiting
yeah.
for the news more than we
Tomorrow, let
will.
me ask you this a logical question. I mean, I only want to be vocal here. I'm
Mhm.
trying to be as clean as I can be as I can have it now. Now we both men, we both human beings. How can you think that having blood and doodle on your dick is not something wrong with you? I'm just asking. I'm asking. If you go in another man's anus, Tamori, you're getting blood and doodle. How do you think that's not wrong?
I don't, I don't even want to remember. I don't want to remember your. I don't want to remember your story. There's a story you heard of your colleague somewhere in. Was it in? Where was it?
Ah, oh no, he told you that when he was
I
in
I
somebody,
don't
he
want to
told when he
remember
was
the story.
in South Korea, and the guy with the Batman
Yeah,
mask.
South, the
Yeah,
South Korea story.
yeah, when he assaulted him and
And
shit. Oh man, that was rough. That was rough on the cat.
and 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 your friend was with us. Your friend was with us today. No Fire Entertainment. But as you saw, we ignored him and he went. So I think he's
Yeah, we
just
ignored
looking
him.
for
Yeah,
attention.
yeah, I think yeah, that's what they do. That's what people do. They need our energy. So,
Um,
so he left. You don't pay no
so
attention. They get out. Ah, I'm not getting no rise out of these people.
you got a new
Yeah,
fan.
go away.
So that is all that was happening today in Africa on a day where we had 10 people die in a road accident in Kenya. That is after the 40 that died in South Africa and the 30 other that died in Egypt, which
Actually,
Keith says is not in
imagine,
Africa.
imagine, let me ask you a question. Yeah, it's in Africa, but those are African people. I don't give a shit.
Hmm.
Like people that told you, our party, we want to love everybody that's stolen land and conquered us. You can't love the people in South Africa that keep getting fought. Those who white people invaded. I don't love nobody invading, taking over my African land and put me into slavery and misery. Nah, damn that. I don't give a shit. Anyway, don't leave. Let me ask you one question. Since we're talking about the homosexual thing,
And
what do you think about the Meek Mill's puppy video I sent you with puppy raping Meek?
come
You
again,
know,
your network. Come again. Your network was breaking. You need to come again.
okay. Can you hear me again? That's your network. I'm in
It is still
Houston.
breaking.
That's your network. Somebody can you hear me, Jibba Jabba? I think that's your network, Demori. That's not my shit. I'm in a major city. I'm in Houston, Texas. Shit, that's your shit. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yeah, I
now,
can hear you
Demori?
now.
Okay. What did you think about the Puff Daddy
Good to go.
Meek? What do you think about the Puff Daddy Meek Mills video when you got Puffy going in
And I lost
Meek
you
Mill's
again.
backside? You lost me? You lost me, Demore?
I think it is my network because I can't hear. I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's you. That's your shit. That's your SGR. That's your SGR internet. Shit. Oh, shit. We'll take
I
it.
don't know if you
We'll
can
take
hear
it.
me. It
Yeah,
is
yeah,
also a day
yeah,
where
I hear
Kenya's
you.
doctor have
I hear you.
it is also a day where the Kenyan doctors have extended the strike into a third week. So it is
They
3 weeks
should.
since Kenyans last saw a doctor in a hospital. 3 weeks.
Well, too
Three
bad.
weeks
I'm not getting
since.
paid. I'm not getting paid. Yeah. How's a politician who does nothing getting paid while doctors are not getting paid?
Mhm.
Make it make sense. Please, somebody help me. Make it make sense.
Imagine 3 weeks without a doctor. So if you cannot access private medical care for the past 3 weeks, you're dead. Bad news for you, you're dead.
Yeah, but you don't need no
And
politician.
the only thing they
Go
want is
go 3 weeks without a politician. Won't shit
the only
happen.
thing the
But they get paid.
the only thing the doctors want. Do you know what governors have said that the doctors have to go back to work or they are going to get fired, all of them. And the doctors have said, fire, you're not going back to work this time.
How you gonna fire me? You ain't got no more doctors. Yeah, the doctors got all the leverage. Fire me. But you don't get doctors. You don't got no money to go outside the country to get another doctor. Yeah, fire me, stupid. Where you gonna get doctors? It sounds crazy. The doctors know this. The doctors got all the leverage here. Fire me. Where you gonna get doctors? Ain't nobody coming to Kenya to be no doctor working at those prices. I'm gonna give you 30,000 Kenyan shillings a month. Nigga, you crazy? Are you out of your rabbit ass mind? Oh yeah, doctors
last,
keep
lastly,
striking.
before Kamlesh, and Joby joins us, start your show, it is also a day where you remember the speaker who was bribed with a wig in South Africa?
Oh man, not that again. That's embarrassing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he's getting arrested. He's facing imminent arrest over graft charges. So he's gonna go to prison for a wig and several other
I,
dollars. So at
yeah.
least there was an
She
uproar and
gonna
he's going to get
go look
arrested.
at. Can you imagine how this looks around the world? Some Negro getting arrested after bribing because they're getting him an old dirty white man wig. he get he get one of these wigs that finally Philo Lumumba talked about. I talked about it years ago. Joe, you used to get mad at me. I said, you Negroes still in Africa when these goofy white people wigs on your head. You know how ridiculous, you know how stupid you look? Bunch of niggas sitting around with white people's hair on their head. How about you a judge? It's prestigious. You are an absolute moronic slave. And you look crazy. You imagine Demore. I mean Demore, me. Somebody as dark as Demore and my youngest son, right? Sitting up there with a white man's wig on. Like what? Imagine what was like, boy, niggas.
And she's actually a very beautiful African woman. I'm looking at her photos and I don't understand why she needed a wig.
Self-hate, Demore. It's called self-hate. Who taught you to
I
hate
mean,
yourself, Demore?
let me
Who taught you to
share. Let
hate?
me share
Who taught you
as
to
I
hate
finish.
your
Let me share a picture. Look
Let
at
me
this.
see.
This is the woman who was
I love,
bribed
yeah,
with a wig.
yeah, because I love,
Now she's
yeah, 'cause
gonna go to
I
prison.
love, I love me some, I love me some South. I ate it out like Joby. I love me some South African women. God damn it, I'm not gonna lie. I love me some South African women. I'm not gonna try to lie. I love me some South African and Zimbabwean women. I love. You gotta make that bigger. That's too small, Jamal. I can't see that. That's too small. Oh, she like, that's an old lady, ain't she? She look old looking. I can't tell. She like she fat. Ain't she fat? On
Yeah.
my phone, I can't tell. I don't
Nah.
mess around with fat women, Demore. That's you. You had a fat ladies. I'm good. I, I don't do fat women, Demore. I live to you. You want to meet Demore? You want to meet my colleague? His name is Demore. Here he is. Here he is, ladies. He likes some big bone. He likes some big bone. Here you go. His name is Demore. Be gentle with him
I,
now. You big bro,
I actually,
you
I
big bone
actually don't.
broads. Y'all be gentle with him.
So that, that was all we had today. Make sure you join. Make sure you join Kamlesh and Joby. Today they tell me they are not playing reggae, so make sure to join them, kids. They're not doing reggae
Oh,
today.
thank God! Thank God! Oh, it's a Christmas miracle. Holy shit! The Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. Oh, thank you, sweet baby
get
Jesus.
get get your dancing shoes on, Ziba Jabba,
I know.
and
I'm at the car. I'm
go
at the
to
show.
sleep.
I'm at the car. George Guy up. And Samuel down on the
So,
Cayman. Them two goopy Jamaican niggas. Hey, you Jamaican niggas. You.
so catch me tomorrow on the Black Hot Fire news
And
update.
much
And
love.
for those
And
of you who did not join, for
all
those of you
fat
who did not,
women. And all fat women, make sure you join tomorrow. Tomorrow, he loves them. He loves big bone broads. So come back tomorrow.
and and for those of you who did not join the crypto class on Saturday, including Keith,
Man,
many
I was
others, we
knocked
had
out.
such a
I was
amazing
asleep. Was it
class.
good? Was it good talk tomorrow?
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Jiba Jaba can tell you about it. And for those of you who did not make it to the class, an article is coming up on the website. Check the website. An article is going to come up either today or tomorrow about whatever we talked about and A to Z, everything you need to know about crypto. So an article is going to come up on the
Who
website
was
either
that?
today or tomorrow.
Smart J and Joseph? Was Joseph and Smart J there?
Yeah, and just yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I told you years ago when I was doing crypto, I did make money in crypto back in 2017, but then I stopped. I think crypto is a good way to make money. I don't think it's good for the long term because it's energy, especially if they fuck up the energy in Kenya. I don't know how you're gonna do crypto in Kenya because it takes money to make crypto coins to mine the energy to mine it.
Mhm.
But I think it's a good source of devalue of getting money out of the Rothschilds and Rockefeller hands. That's what it was designed to do.
So
But now you got the
so
big
we
banks
learned that
trying
you don't
out
have
to
to
invest in
mine.
it.
You can buy.
Yeah,
We
you have
learned
to
that you don't
mine.
have to mine the Bitcoin. Yeah, you can buy an already mined Bitcoin, and you don't have to buy one Bitcoin is costing about 9 million Kenya shillings. So you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy
Pieces
people
of it.
own zero point zero
Yeah.
zero zero 0.0001 of a Bitcoin.
Yeah, you own
So for
pieces
that,
of it.
check the website. We'll be uploading an article on the same with the guide, and of course, many other articles are coming up on the website. Be checking the website. A lot of amazing articles are coming up there. So make sure to join me tomorrow on Tubonge.
Hey man,
You are all welcome, apart
okay,
from
but
admin.
I'm not gonna read the article on how to get fat women, Demore. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on that. You get that to your fat. You get that to my the cast as the chubby chasers. I don't want to read that. I'm cool. You,
I'm going, I think I'm gonna follow Ziba Jaba's advice and get a good Ugandan woman who does not drink.
oh, if you gotta get it. Ugandan women are so loyal and that's how that Iraton girl half Ugandan. You get the Ugandan girl, that's what you gotta get, Jibba Jeff. You get the Ugandan girl, they're loyal, they're very respectful. Man, you'll be in heaven with a Ugandan lady. Gee, hell yeah. But I'm not gonna live in no
So that is
Uganda. That's out. I'm not living.
so that
I,
is
I
all we
might
had
I might I
before
might do
this.
I might do business with Demore over there, but I'm not moving in that motherfucker. You man, shit. You going back to the Stone Ages over there. Demore was balling with 10 Kenyan shillings. How much you got, man? I got 10 Kenyan
And so
shillings.
that is all we had. Make sure to join me tomorrow the on Tubonge and of course on the updates, and make sure to join Joby and Kamlesh. I'm out of
Coming
here.
up.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Hey, Demore, be careful.